because they're doing absolutely nothing. And everyone knows. You open let me search for Chymamusique on Google, for example. The first hit that's going to come up there is a piracy site, which I don't understand. Like,
and it's stuff that they can sort themselves. If they post the music rights, they can actually simply take down the sites, man. They are empowered by the government. They've got the budget. They've got the money. Unlike if someone like me tries to raise it.
That's what I'm saying. I think there's a brown envelope being pushed somewhere there because everyone can see. It's right there in our faces, but nothing is being done. So I was starting to think there's corruption there somewhere.
That's banally what.
Yeah, for sure. There's no other way. It doesn't make sense. But also to play devil's advocate on what Retro Soul was saying, I feel like these sites as well, as much as they are like terrible, there's some sort of free marketing that is happening, and I'm talking about like the public domain, right? Those of us that follow dance culture as a genre may know who Chymamusique is. And know him to be one of the biggest artists we have in this country. But the ordinary person who doesn't consume music on that level might not know. And those sites, although they are bad, kind of push you as an artist. And from that you can get bookings, which I'm sure is the biggest generator of revenue for artists nowadays, because music sales themselves are not
once we forget a little bit.
Yeah, because now music has gone like online. It's streaming now, and let's be honest, how many of us can afford internet access? How many of us have internet access to begin with? Forget the subscription itself to all these DSPs. How many of us have access to the internet? That's the only way you can play music nowadays. And truth be told, a majority of us out here don't have access to the internet, so they can.
So tell me what.
if you want to formulate together a massive collaboration of people to work on this thing, what you're going to need, then you'll be able to deal with the cyber pirates, at least in Africa's context. You might not be able to do anything about it in another territory.
Another territory. Yeah, it's quite complex. It's not easy. Yeah?
No, it's not. But it's not like CDs. You know, CDs was easy. You were closing down and shutting down somebody who's printed CDs who's printing, and you were shutting them down, confiscating the goods and confiscating. Now you're not confiscating anything. You have to literally be in a position. So, to disarm them, you literally have to know who that person is, and then you have to have a charge being filed against that particular person.
We learn and grow. Zito!
Fine.
Oh, Tembisile. You can talk, Tembisile.
Afternoon, everyone. The topic.
Where are you? Oh, yes, I see. She's now a listener. What happened? I don't know what happened. What's happening? She's now back to being a listener. Please request again so you can finish what you started. Wait a minute. Okay. How do I do this? I'm learning, guys, so forgive me. Okay. Nema, you can talk. I'm just struggling to get her to come on back.
No problem, man. Good day, everyone. Okay. What I want to trying to say is, I'm one of the people that probably have owned websites for the longest time.
Yeah.
And owned the digital radio station. I'm one of the first people, if not the second. I'm the first person. This is I'm talking about back in 2012, 2013.
Yeah.
From 2012. What happens mostly, you find that even artists become culprit behind these things, or their management.
Yeah.
Because when they send music through to, whether it's radio, whether it's us, because my website will also allow artists to release their own free music. You find them asking you to also upload the music to any streaming sites.
Oh, that's
this is
okay.
Even way before people, when people didn't even know more about that YouTube really makes money, we were doing that. And what I'll tell you, only now recently, we're getting takedowns where you find artists just reporting your channels and all that.
Yeah.
But they forget that they were the one with their management that were requesting all those things back in the days. And even through Fagaza, I know there's certain artists that sends their music there.
Yeah,
because they know that the more they reach the masses, the more they get bookings. Because we know if you are on Spotify and you don't have major following, you don't really make money.
Yeah.
Unless you're getting money, because most people I know, they make money through YouTube monetization on digital stores, which is one thing that is working. And the other issue, even if you're saying Risa and Sambro and all these guys, they only come after, let's say like me, I used to own a digital store. When you send an SMS, you get a song, you save it on your phone, then the link expire. That one was made and everything was fine. But when they get, I think it was a new director or someone, they wanted me to pay them directly. And this was made mostly for people and artists that were upcoming artists that wanted their money monthly, which means every month I was paying out money to artists. But you find that they fight with everyone local that try and empower artists, but they will never fight with anyone, whether you create something from Mozambique or whatever country, they will never fight you or trying to shut you down. But they will make sure that if you're trying to empower artists, they came after you. We try to launch like your online music streaming, like your video streaming way back, but they will definitely come after you. Make sure that you shut down. last time we tried to create something, which was when remember, I don't know if you remember the days of O Music on Channel O. When we tried to introduce that, we were told that they needed 70% to own that whole thing. We're gonna own 30% of it. So they are part of most of these things that are happening on the social space, but they act like they don't know anything about it. And we found that most of the artists nowadays, they think they know so much because now they understand internet better than we as OGs that have been in the industry or done whatever we done before the internet. But you found them struggling the most because they're not making any money beside gigs. And even on gigs, some of them you get surprised to find that this guy is charging me 10 grand and he's so big because they try and they'll tell you that, no, you can't work with me. You want to get rich by using me. Not knowing that you actually need people that have been in the industry. You need proper contracts. You need everything so that it can protect you. But they don't know anything. That's why piracy is easy for them to kill them because it takes everything away from them because they just release things online and they don't want to follow the protocols. You see.
I'm learning. I've learned.
So I think, let me stop there and let others speak.
Yeah. This is my first space, guys. I'm learning a lot already. So it's easier to share information. Miss Steelo. How's it, Tembi? What happened? There's something wrong with Miss Steelo's thing. She's back to being a listener again now. It keeps crashing and taking it back. Okay, Zito.
Where?
Look, I'm going.
Rowan, I'm going to
Sharp, man. Yeah, just tell me the experience that you've acquired since you started running the label and making music so far, like what you've learned and the challenges.
So fairly new to this music thing. So
yeah,
a lot from this conversation, especially the things that happen like not in front, like the silent partner who are like in control. Right. So from regards to like piracy affecting me, in the beginning, because I didn't like things like Fagaza were illegal and stuff like that, but through and seeing that, okay, cool, so this is not cool, and the statement coming in, Fagaza is not on my statement, I'm like, okay, cool, so Fagaza is not. So that's how I had to learn it, and I think kind of conversations most create quite having them because they're very discouraging, right?
Yeah.
But very at the same time. So most creatives avoid conversations, and music making is almost like a sacrifice you have to make to get those gigs, Berlin, and play at this gig, whatever. So I would say as to make money anymore is used as a device to solidify your name in the industry.
It's a CV.
Yeah,
I call it a CV.
Definitely. It's used as a CV so that when you book, you're like, hey man, I've had a Chymamusique feature. Chymamusique has remixed my song. I have this money.
Yeah.
So also collaborating, that's something that I always realize that those artists, because when they see your name attached to this person, they start to take you more serious, right? And then that helps a lot, and that's why when you get charged for like collaborations and all this kind of stuff, it start making sense because you know that your name getting attached to theirs is going to take you to this next level. So and so are going to pay attention to you. The fact that Kid From on radio, blah 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 blah. So
brand association,
definitely. So I've realized that the new way, in a way, are finding ways to work around that. I think they started making peace with the fact that there's no money in the industry, and their intention is not to make money, is to get gigs, putting their name out there. One example that I had is in the middle of the year, it's like where I would send like statements to the artist, and one of the artists actually rejected the statement, right? Because he clearly said his intention was to put the music out. Doesn't care about coming from that. was very surprising. Dude, it's free money. Come on. So so I would say new artists have given up on hoping to make money from their music. They just want to put their name out there, have an audience, gigs, right?
But also getting gigs is quite actually the hardest thing,
Very hard, definitely
Very
very
hard.
hard. So my advice is always as possible.
Yeah. Thanks, man. I feel you. It's quite challenging.
Because some gatekeepers start closing those gates the moment they say, "Oh, so this is your record label, own your own masters." So those gates start closing, which is very unfortunate. But like if you're dope and you have a solid fan base, so it's important to have those connections. But when they start to close things for you just because you are those kind of things, it says a lot about them. And most artists are rebelling. One instant that I had, then I'll be closing off. My tape. I've been in a situation where I was releasing music for an artist, right? And they sold the music before it came out, right? Like that. Kind of stuff. People paid them, right? And one of my friends approached me like, "Dude, do you know doing this?" Like, and with it, I understand the intention behind it, right? I'm okay with it. Some labels might not, and that's also okay because maybe they're more knowledgeable on this topic than I am. But I was okay with that because, like, I understood the intention of that artist, and I'm like, and maybe that's another loophole that they have, that Fagaza has access to your stuff. But there's a good and a bad side of those kind of things. But I understood the artist's perspective, but I would also understand the label's perspective. If you're taking your business seriously, you allow your artist to do that. So the weird thing, and I'm not a pro at this. I'm also just trying to learn as I go. But it's very tricky.
But we all just gotta do something to make it work, That's what I say. The positivity is all that it takes, I believe. Okay, thank you, Zito. The next speaker.
Sorry, man. I was I got an emergency call from work, so I had to take it off.
Better get this song. Wait. I'm learning this. Let me press this. All right. Nema, you can talk now. I see your hand is raised.
Okay. One thing I also think, which mostly I've told a lot of artists, so many of them, and then trying to make it clear for them that, okay, we know that there's Fagaza.
Yeah.
But if you're going to drop your music out there, or you have a lot of content that you know that you're always releasing, and then you want to make money out of it, most of people, I keep telling them, owning a website is 39 Rand a month. That's the cheapest. And you get a proper space. Or if you want the one that is way too big, it can cost you about $130 to have a website that has about 100 gig space. So if you're an artist, you know that you're always creating content. You're always sharing things on social media. And then now you drive all your fans into your own platform. Because you could, like right now, I'm working on my own kind of Twitter version, South African Twitter version that comes with voice notes. If you design something like that and you have all your fans get driven into your own platform, you monetize that. Before Fagaza have your music, you already have it on your platform. People can stream it from there or download it.
I saw
even before it lands
on as a website. I saw also Louis Vega always had a website where he puts music there first.
You see, things like those where they even if you're doing anything, whether you're posting pictures in the morning, instead of putting them on Facebook and Instagram, Twitter first, every single fan of yours get all your content on your space if you feel that the website is too much, you can also get an app. Because if I tell most of the artists that owning an app wouldn't, if you know that you're doing better in the music industry, it doesn't cost you even 5,000. It's even less. You can get a normal like Instagram website like app for about 1,000 to 2,000 rand.
Really, I want one.
You create something that.
Where can I get it? You must give me the information, man. I think I must have my own app.
Definitely. There's a mall. I call it the mall. This is where you meet different developers around the world. This is where they develop. That's why I was saying the other time, when America released, like they release WhatsApp, China released their own WeChat, which is happening in most of the countries. So that when this country release something application, they go and create their own. So if we also have this as artists, producers and everyone, where you have all your content sitting there and allow other people also to share, you're definitely going to make a killing. Because at the mall, it's where you have every single developer that creates every single thing, even before it gets out to the world. You find it right there. So my advice that do not wait only that music gonna be on YouTube, my music gonna be on online store or this and this. You can also sell your music on your own app. Like it's way easy. I was thinking of giving away one of the websites that I'm not using, which it comes with your own built-in store that you can sell your own music. You see, those are the things that artists need to empower themselves with, and not depend on only single platform or worry about how Fagaza are gonna destroy. We need to find a way around Fagaza.
The tricky thing for artists, let me give you an example, especially with me. I always have something to do. Like if I now try to go around running and doing other things, chances are that now the music production and the mixing and the mastering of other people's things is gonna suffer. So I've got a brother of mine now that I told to start running around for me, so I don't have to be out going to fetch this, going to the shops most of the time, so I can try to kill my deadlines. And also with such something like that, then it's something that I'll tell him about. Like him, because I always spoke about having an app. I've got a website, old one though. I'm like, I need to develop my website so I can have e-commerce there, like stuff like, because during lockdown, what I did, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna relax. I started doing merchandising, which I've learned found new partners now. They're doing proper stuff, and I see it's growing. The support is like, I'm like, oh wow, now we need an e-commerce thing where we can be able to ship to in easier and get orders, like a big website, really have the music there, have merchandise there, have the gig guys there, have everything there, you understand? So it's now it's a matter of fishing information, so I can hear you know quite a little bit more, so I'll get your contacts and then how we make it best possible.
Yeah, because it helps, because the one thing I also tell the upcoming artists, they go around looking for a manager. You have a friend or a brother or someone close to you understand your music. That person can be your manager. You can have your sister be the one that submit and follow up on tracks that are sent on radio, or look for interview on your behalf. So if you have about 3 people or 3 of your friends, they can't just go to gigs with you. They need to be part of what you do. They need to manage and run everything that you do. A photographer, somebody that follows you around when you do things.
Yeah, that's what I did. My current manager is a boy that I trained since 2010. We were going to the same school together, and then he studied marketing. So since 2011, when I started releasing my first house song, I've always been with him. So he's the one who now does my gigs and takes some orders. Like he's quite helpful.
You see, it really works, because when I was running Van Rap radio station full time, before the gatekeepers started doing what they do best, like I had all the guys from back home in Venda, I had people from Josie, I had people from Heidelberg. Like we came together, and then everybody was doing whatever they can to make sure that every single hip hop track was playing, house music was playing, which forced radio station now to play music on their radio station. Even when I went to win South African Hip Hop Awards for the best hip hop show as an online radio station, people got pissed. Like there's so many people that were angry. How did you do it? But it was because we had Twitter and we had the streets that we were working with. I was able to reach more people because I had people on the ground. But when you're trying to advise some of the artists, they feel like, no, you want to get rich with us. You want to get rich. You want to take us what we have. But we need to work hand in hand. So for those who are, even if those who are asking the name of the mall, which I call the mall, if you go online and just type codekenyon.net or just say Code Kenyon, you will find every single thing there. Even if you want to create WhatsApp, your own WhatsApp, you want to create your own whatever you want, whatever you think of, you will find it there, because that's where all creators and developers they meet, and then you can work from there.
Sorry, James. Can I need to just welcome some of the people who have just joined us and some of the speakers. Guys, we're talking about the dynamics of the music industry. If you have any questions, you can actually post them at our panel. We have Chymamusique, we have Colin actually, we have TJ Mood, we have Zito, Nema, and I'd like for them to actually stay online in case people have questions to pose towards them. Oh yes, and Dustina as well. So if you guys have questions that you need to pose at them, do raise your hand, and we'll definitely accept. And they have better knowledge of what happens in the industry, and they'll definitely be able to help you guys. And in the meantime, Utem Sile also has had a hand up for quite a while. So Nema, please stay in line as well. Do not log off. Nozito as well. Probably some people will also have questions with regards to what's happening, and you guys maybe will be able to answer them as well.
No problem. I'm gonna stick around, but what I'm saying, like, the website is Code Kenyon. You go there, you register, and then you can just buy whatever you want to buy. And there's a lot of things. They start as far as down as $200, even if not less. So you can get anything that you have in mind. And like I said, there's hosts that host different websites, they host different applications. And website, I know they start from 39 Rand. That's the cheapest. I know that it's not that much. You just need to know how to play around with all these things, and it will work for you. You see. Thank you.
Thank you. Tembisile. Hope it doesn't kick you
Hey,
out again.
Chyma. I hope you guys can hear me now.
Yes.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, boy.
Yes, we can, Timmy.
Okay. So thank you so much for such a great topic, and afternoon to everyone, the panel and the listeners as well. So basically what I wanted to point out on my own perspective on what I've learned so far is that most of the fans, I mean even our families and friends, they don't understand the dynamics between the original streaming platforms and these websites that are doing the piracy. Because I remember I would send links to people and they'd be like, no, I can't find the song in, but I did manage to find it on this website. And then they're so excited, sending me feedback, telling me what they found the song, and I'll be like, no, that's like an illegal website. So I think like the Department of Arts and Culture and all the other stakeholders that are involved in the music industry should like maybe create some kind of drive that will educate the fans much more than tearing down websites and stuff like that, because I think that's like there's a lot of red tape around that. But if we educate the fans, the people in Emakaya, because like Mina, I'm on Twitter. I also didn't know about some of the websites before I came onto Twitter. Before I started doing music, I had no idea if it's illegal or what. So I think if we could just do something like that, where we educate the people that consume the music, because will Shazam a song from the radio and they're liking the song, and then they start to search for it. Obviously, the first hits are the illegal sites. So if we manage to let them know which sites are wrong, stuff like that, I think that would also help, because most people, they don't know, they just don't know. So yeah, that was my take on the topic.
Thank you. Yeah, then that's true. Zito.
Oh, and Zito also has his hand up. So Zito, you may continue, sir.
Thanks. So I think also just to add on what Tembi and Nema said, definitely like our fans, when they download from Fagaza, they're very happy because they're thinking they're supporting the artist. Some know it's illegal, but most of them are supporting you, right? So their intentions are good. They just don't know. And then to add on to what Nemo was saying, I feel like seems like people like yourself are like the OGs of the game, you know the tricks and all this kind of stuff, have been in the game even before the internet, you know what's working, what's not working. um like there's services now like Patreon where you could sell your service. You could literally just give someone advice. Well, you get it for free now because we hosting this, it's nice, but like for a more personal, to like accommodate you, to be specific for your genre and your audience, understanding your audience, blah 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 blah. I feel like guys like yourself who are so experienced in these things, like you can sell your services, and maybe that's another way of making extra cash. Literally sell your service to give someone advice for like 30 minutes and get paid for it. So I feel like this kind of information just needs to be shared on some sort of a hub or whatever solution that we can have. And I know that as hard as an artist or as a well-known person to just give the public access to you, but maybe if you can find a system to just work that around, and it's really cool, because especially now than ever, like the landscape of like music, especially in SA, is so diverse. It's not like African music; it's just music, and that we have different audiences from different sides of the world, from different sides of the a song to Spotify. They know which playlist, because they know, okay, cool, these are your audience, this is this is that. It's things like that that also help grow your audience, understanding how to use Spotify for artists, for example, and pitching your song, and then luckily maybe Spotify can put it in one of their playlists, which has a huge following, and that can attract some sort of audience. It's a small thing that can gradually build up, like taking small things here and there. But I think from my observation, I feel like people who do the music thing full time have more of an advantage more than any other person, right? Because they because you can work on different elements, like Chama, you were saying that now you have someone who helps you because you want to focus on making sure that the masters and the mixings are right. You recording the mix, like I feel like it's much easier when you prioritize most of your capacity to make what.
It keeps cutting you. Is it on my side only?
No. I also heard it actually. His line is a bit on the opposite side.
Hey, wait, I can't pass it. Nobody can hear me. Sorry about that.
Alright, it's okay.
I'm thinking the other thing that Never mentioned about like monetizing YouTube. That's really really important. Honestly, that's one of my major source of income, right? Because the more you build, the more you can monetize it, and then the ads are appearing on your thing. I know it's annoying for the audience to see the ads, but it's good for you for the ads to be there, because you get to make money from it. So what I've seen from most artists is their YouTube accounts are automatically created when they first put out their song, and they never claim them, right? And that YouTube account subscribers that you can use to make money, but you don't have access to that account. So also claiming your artist profile is very very important, because it just gives you more control. Yeah, that's the last thing I wanted to say. Thanks.
I must organize a conference.
I was actually about to suggest this. Actually.
I just tested something. I just tested something. Ne? We can. Pardon?
No, you may continue, Nema.
No, I was saying I just tested something right now, ne? Because we were talking that I think this must reach more people. So I was testing to see how can we have it to reach more people that can listen, that are also not on Twitter, or they're not on the space. So when I was playing around with my stuff, we can actually take this as far as almost every platform. Like we can have it even to people can listen on YouTube, and people can listen on Facebook. I haven't tried Instagram. I tried when we were talking here to see how can we maximize it if we decide to say we're having such conference and more people can have an access to listen to it. So I tested, and then I think we can also, if the radios also want to have it as we're doing it, let's say the radio can they want their listeners to listen to it, it can even reach radio. So yeah, I just played around with a couple of links here, and I see that it does work.
And I was about to suggest it as well, actually, when Chima said it, that I think you guys, more than anything else, this also would be another way of making money for you guys as well. It doesn't always have to be for free. You do snippets online, like we're doing right now, so that people that are interested know about it and they get to find out there's something like this that you guys want to do, and then you sell tickets to whatever, whether it's virtual or whatever the conference, or however way the conference would be like. So whether virtual or otherwise, you sell it, and then you teach people how to make it in the industry based on the knowledge that you guys have. Because Nema, I heard you say a lot of things. Like there's a lot that I did not know that I've just realized that I did not even know. I don't know half of the things that you were talking about, and more than anything else, I was in awe of the information that you have, and this is information that you guys never really put across or put through to social media. People would just find out, you understand? So they would need to be a part of these kind of conferences for them to actually get to find out this is how they can actually make it in the industry. Because come to think of it, the younger ones don't have a lot of information when it comes to the industry, but they want to be part of the industry.
Yeah, that's true.
Any other person who wants to speak? Okay, Domzela. Requested. Okay, how do I do this? Yeah, I'm learning, guys. It's my first time trying this space thing, so litlantswaretla. Domzela. But private account. Domzela.
How's it, guys? Can you hear me now? Yeah, Yeah, no, sorry.
Okay, yeah, we can.
Okay, I know. Hi to the host and the co-host and everyone in this. Yeah, my name is Tom Zelane. The point that I actually wanted to make, which I think Ibarake Manema already raised it as well. And kutlele sister na bua hape ka dintshwana ka di conference, right? So what I actually think is, I think the producer, the DJs mostly, they underestimate. Well, this is my view, right? I'm not saying for it's cast in stone, but I think they actually underestimate the power a human touch, right? Especially to the offense, right? The fan this thing they feel more especially if they are being given attention, right? And which is more like body DJ, the producer needs to actually like exhaust their energy on, right? Now, Nema spoke about Patreon, right? I understand Patreon can be like, it can be a foreign word to some people, but I'm actually glad for waiting. There's people like Nema who already mentioned it. Now, basically, that's a service which allows, it's basically for content creators as well as the artists, the DJs and everything. However, depending on when our who operator, yeah. So like in a case here, how or anyone who's a DJ or producer. So basically you can actually create an account whereby you can have like an audience, right? Now the type of audience that you can have, they can actually pay to sustain whatever the content that you're actually providing to them, right? Another thing, if you can imagine how many young producers who can actually reach out to you, Colin, on Twitter or working on Instagram or Facebook. But while I got some if I can get a word or two, right, from Chymamusique, how do you do your bass? How do you do your keys? How do you lay out in Tunyana Tengata? There's actually a lot of them, you see. And there's actually a lot that can actually be willing to pay Horway. I'm paying I'm paying Patreon account channel Coleni because of I'll be interacting directly. I understand that instead of getting advices and everything, especially more into
like, your productions and everything. Think about it, because I've seen you, Colin, you sometimes posted the picture, back in the video, only go, what you call, in studio and everything, doing like a bit of snippets of what you actually do, especially when producing a song, and then you actually interact about on Instagram and yeah, but now that's something that you can actually start like monetizing on, whereby you can create that on Patreon, and then people will actually pay, as little as, depending on where now, but they will sit with you for that hour session in Yana on your Patreon channel, whereby you can actually interact, labor individually, get advices, provide advices as well, and barking, yeah, and all of that. And then another thing, sister mentioned the conference. The conference is so powerful, guys. I'm not sure if you like if you can remember the impact it had when we used to have in the South African Music Conference, right? I think that's another thing that's another thing a lot of DJs and producers need to sit down and really think about it, of bringing them back. I know ladies are killing to Christos. They have this dance music conference and stuff. They're trying. Live on. I understand.
Yeah,
but now you can.
I'm also. Even the SMC I was part of it. I think it was in 2015. The one in July. I guess.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah. So the last year I hosted Sake and Christos.
Yeah.
It was also a good one. So the one thing everybody know, it's COVID. I won't lie to you. We would have had SMC again, and would have had the dance music. But then the numbers, my man. I killing. That's why now everything, like you're saying, I support the thing of the online idea, because now you can do everything almost online. Yeah. Well?
Yeah, and also I guess it's something little now, like as the DJs, producers, you need to decide collectively for what thing. Let's put our egos aside. Let's put ego ya king. I've got 100,000 copies. Like there are again the ego on the side, and then and start working. And then, like I'm saying, king, try and make sure invest in nako. Who defends and everything, because keep on about by your revenue it from Gobon. Understand?
On that note, what you are saying is easier said than done. Now all of us can't just stop and say we're gonna start interacting. Most of the things, like you think about them, it's easy to say interact with everyone, but trust me, I'm failing on WhatsApp. My WhatsApp is like the worst. I even put the status. And then now there's DMs on Twitter, there's DMs on Instagram, there's calls, there's... The moment I try to catch up with that, I just crash. Like my mind just crashes. Yeah, well, and I'm not even a big artist yet, so I can imagine what the big artists are really going through. So it's you can only take so much. That's why Leonaya, if maybe now you try to let's say you open maybe a radio station, like recording, editing, and you crash, my man. That's why most of them, they end up being depressed, and they can't even have time for family. They can't even maintain families, because all they do is try to interact with everyone. Now I try on Twitter, I interact with everyone, but then sometimes I fail when it comes to now WhatsApp. People start calling and telling you that my cousin can sing, you are my neighbor, my cousin can sing, can they come to your studio? Next thing the neighbor calls, there's my friend here, they've got a song, can you please listen to it? Like imagine now, it means now I stop living, now I must focus on that, of which it can only take so much. And when you don't do it, they say, what home? That's the other problem that the guys honestly in the industry are struggling with, because they think the fact that you can make music now, every day you're going to be sitting waiting for them to send you songs and also doing everything that they want for them, and then you'll eventually forget about your own career. You'll stop making music and now entertain everyone, try to please them, and then when your things don't go well, they are gone. You are left with a tired body, tired mind, and nothing else.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's
okay. Can I just chip in again? Sorry about that. Can I just chip in again? I'd like to welcome some of the people that have just joined us. And like I said earlier, we're discussing the dynamics of the music industry. So it's anything and everything and stand with regards to the music industry. Ask questions, and yeah, we have people that will answer you. We have your Zitos online, double 10 times Gulova, Bonema, all the gents abakhona lapha as speakers. So if you have questions, just raise your hand. If you're not one of the speakers as yet, you can just request to actually speak or request the mic, and we'll definitely accept you. And to those Abama speakers who are not going to be saying anything, we need to make space for the other people that would like to actually, or that would like to request for your mic. If you're not going to be saying anything, I kindly ask that you grant Abanye space. Thank you.
Next question or speaker or advice?
Okay, sorry guys. Before we continue,
Hi guys.
sorry, Mpo. I need to know, how do I leave Lendeba must speak? I don't want to speak anymore. I want to make space.
Okay, let me do it for you.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
All right. You can continue speaking. The other person.
I think it was.
Yeah, my hand was up. My hand was up the longest time.
Sorry, TJ. I give away you already like furniture. You already like furniture, so hence the ignore.
Yeah.
You family
I'm trying to
galore.
respect everyone. I'm trying to respect everyone. Yeah, now I've heard your views and all that stuff. Mara, the most important thing here, Chyma, it's whether we the biggest challenge is piracy and all that stuff. I think it is important to teach fans the fundamentals of being in the music business. Just a little snippet of it, because there are certain things that are going on, and some are interesting, some are not. Let me give an example. I've been following Ron Trent. For over 10 years.
Yeah.
What he does is, there's a particular set of releases he does on his site. Is called Music and Power. He would release a very, very strong song, just for 24 hours, and then he takes it down. To make agree by doing that, he's doing a check. Who is actually supporting my music? And I believe you me, it's over 5 years. I register $7. Over 5 years, I register one song $7. So people do buy music, and then it's high time you start looking the direction of people that buy music. Another example here is if Chyma it's robbed by a digital site, it's a given or Chymamusique will remove his music on that particular site. Let me give you an example. Do you know a guy called Ahmed Sira?
No, I don't.
Ahmed Sira, I think he did it last year. He removed his entire catalog on Bandcamp. He removed everything. And then Abula side they are high, and then Eko side they are high. People that buy his music, honale a catalog are romelang a particular song. After completing a particular song, why you have got this 150 people around the world that buy my music. He sends the song to those only. So that way it's actually saying, because I'm a music producer and I'm a DJ, I'm paying attention to who is following me. Isn't follow Elia click follow on good disease. Isn't click follow yamo social media. Who's supporting on good disease? And then moreover, get your recent album. I got send delay because I purchased.
Yeah, you got it.
Because I respect your work. I won't put that even in a mixtape. Because I put it in a mixtape to create a traffic we mixtape, what they do is they can actually slice a mixtape. What the mixing point, I cut them, and then they start playing it. To the best of my ability.
But with my music, Mina, you can like what I cry for now is for mostly the young guys who are not even getting gigs yet. Because check. Sorry to interject. Check the beautiful predicament. I just stated to you. Now I'm more big on alternative music. But I just bought the house album. Yeah.
I play house mostly 3 to 4 times in a month via bookings.
Yeah.
So I buy music to support because I love what you are doing.
Yeah,
I'm following artists.
We appreciate. We appreciate.
And do not be ashamed to refuse with your time. The minute I get spanning, Chymamusique
Yeah.
So if I am to tell you my cousin can sing, and then studio it's time. Time it's money, come studio. Equipment so if I want to grab your attention, ke tla zama ka o follow o tlelo ya go cuisine go Melrosaka the Vini final Thursday. I talk to you man to man, or I need this from you, can you help? Can you help? Instead of go send the message, everyone affords sending you a message right now. Now send a message, no. So it's 300 people. Who do you reply to? Who don't you reply to? So it's one of the Oscar Hana kana kwa hello busy ka manne. I want to talk to the manager. Manager will meeting.
That's why I think that's the thing. At least now here we are. So anyone who wants to talk, they can talk and voice out the one. And we are all listening and we are learning.
Special attention.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we've had a few people about joining. Tabisile, I'll come back to you. We also have Umutloko. I don't know whether he actually did speak eventually. And we also have Umakas and Man. I'll call him Man, sorry. Who have just joined. Can we just give them a chance? And then we'll come back to our regulars.
I did speak at the beginning, but there's a point I want to make. The reality is the music industry is now part of the content industry, right? So if we still continue with the illusion that we are a special market, we're going to find what happened to us when airtime was entering the South African market, and we were thinking to sell rock or sell CDs, so we don't have to worry about the change of the economics of where the customers are spending money. And for me, I wanted to leave a note that as an industry player that's wanting to be in the trade for the longest of time, understand that the things that influence what customers spend money on are now affecting you. It's no longer about I like music. The music is no longer being had in a saturated or in a bottleneck. There's now a broader space for people to consume music. So harness your audience if you do have an audience. If you don't have an audience, you have to work on it like you're a content creator. It's no longer just like Nzama Heat and that's it. With that, I'll be a listener.
Thanks.
Hi guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
You may continue, mate.
Yes. Thanks.
This is my name.
Yeah, I under. So guys, thank you so much, Chyma, first and for this opportunity to engage with you. And my question is, like, it's actually directed into you, Chyma, as a musician. Because what I've noticed, what you do is, yes, you are an artist, right, and you have a massive following, but at the same time, you're not just posting your music and your mixtape most of the time. You will always go off topic, like keeping your followers entertained. So I just want to know, how do you ensure that you are not actually getting yourself into controversy by going off topic and posting jokes, and then also engaging with other celebrities, local celebrities? But most of them will just, they won't take you as a person who's trying to maybe tarnish their image. They will just accept and laugh. I just want to know, how do you separate these things? How do you ensure that you're not getting yourself into trouble while engaging with your audience and celebrities?
Most of them are my friends. And unfortunately, what I did, I interact with many people, and I think, and I don't want to also limit myself to just post music on social media because I'm still human, and I don't want to have a second account where I call myself with full names. With this, like I put my personality into my account and my Chymamusique thing so that I can be myself. I don't want to feel like I'm working now. I have to just tweet music, and then next thing I've got a thought to share or someone to encourage or laugh with on the timeline, and I can't do it. That's why it doesn't feel like, I don't want to feel like it's work for me because I'm doing what I love. That's why they say do what you love and you will never feel like you're working. So I interact with everyone, and all the guys that you see me making jokes about on social media, trust me, they're my friends. Prince KB, they'll come to my studio, we'll work. Everyone else, they come, and just that I don't have to post every day. Rose Mamang just came to my studio, but we are friends and we joke like that. So whatever you see, there is also real life for me. And even normally it's the jokes that I'll say when I'm with someone here sitting with me. It's stuff that I'll say like I don't wanna try to divide myself into two people who's serious, and then next thing I can't joke, and the next thing I'm just sitting, or I can't say when there's something wrong, I'm not feeling well, because the people will be like, hey, when I just released the music. Like I see with other guys who are always posting their music, they don't retweet anyone's content, they don't talk to anyone else. All they do, they actually even never follow anyone. They follow they follow their own accounts. They don't want to interact. It's all about them, of which I feel is selfish, because when you're a person, you must learn to interact with everyone and get to understand the people, see what's happening. So even when you make music, it must be about the content that's going to be relevant to the people. So now I removed all the lines. All I want to do is I want to insult someone. I can make jokes. And even if you make a joke about me, I laugh and interact. You must check when they do my, the cleaner. Nobody does jokes. Most of the guys, they make jokes about me. I laugh. I don't take anything personal. I'm a human being. I'm like, oh, it's like we're just chilling, all of us. Like now, you can make a joke about me. Chances are, if it's funny, I'll laugh. And if it's not funny, I'll laugh.
Oh, thank you, Chyma. Thank you so much. That was clear. And then my last question is, let's say, because now, like, I am an artist, right? So I do house music. So my challenge is actually, growing as organic as possible and then getting my music out there. So I just want to know, what are the tricks or advice you can give me in terms of reaching out to more audience that actually likes my music without having to boost my ads or those Facebook business tools. I just want to grow as organic as possible, knowing every single follower is actually cares with what I do, rather than attracting people who are not into the type of music that I do. What are the tricks that you can advise me in terms of that?
I'd like to hear your sound actually, because if your sound is unique and different and people love it, they'll come and follow you automatically. And also the content that you put out there, like if maybe people love, maybe I like joking about people and maybe posting soulful house music. People who are gonna follow me is gonna be people who love my sound and people who love what I post or whatever content. So just be yourself. By being yourself, I mean you can boast and sponsor. But if you're a big artist and you put out a good song, as long as you got people, I think I retweet many people's music that I don't even know. As long as it sounds good and my people get to listen. So just put the music out there, but just make sure that it's a really good song. Because one good song can get 2 million followers. But if you feel like your music needs work, please work on it and make sure that whenever it's out, it really makes an impact. Because it's all about the impact of the song for people to come and organically start looking for you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Chyma. That was all. I will give an opportunity to some other listeners. Thank you so much for
Please post your music on your profile. I'm gonna go and retweet for you now and listen actually. If it how far you are with the sound.
Okay, I'll be glad.
Okay.
Hi guys, can I go?
Okay, yeah. We're just trying to find the sequence. Umpo is gonna go, and then Tembisile, and then Uzito. And ladies and gentlemen, like I said, please do request mic if you want to speak, and we'll definitely accept you. And those who want to speak, who are already speakers, can you just raise your hand so that we recognize you, and so that we have a certain sequence that we follow to avoid talking over each other.
And
Thank you.
also, I see a friend of mine here who owns a radio station, and he also worked with big music companies. So I think you must follow him and send him the music. And he's one good guy. He'll be honest with advice and all that. Pesh, he owns national radio.
Oh yeah, and talk about that. Can we just follow each other as well? Follow each other, and yeah, maybe you'll get to learn about each other's music as well, and maybe get to discover stuff about each other that you didn't know. So follow each other while we're still here, and yeah, Mpo, you may continue. Where's Mpo?
Yeah, hi guys. Yeah, so I'm mainly speaking from the consumer perspective. That is, I'm just like more of a listener rather than a producer or a DJ. That's one route I'm afraid to take. But I've been following most of the guys, mainly the deep house producers, DJs, and all of that. And I've been listening for quite some time. I've also benefited from the whole thing of piracy and all of that. But that was mainly due to the lack of information, that is, if I can put it like that. I used to actually do a lot of downloads, exchange music, get files from some of my peers and all of that. And then as soon as like the music started hitting me hard, and I developed an emotional connection with the guys who make that music, I start following them on socials, that's Facebook, Twitter, and all of that. Then they preach this thing of piracy and all of that. So that's when I started actually moving away from the whole piracy thing, and then I now start getting into your Spotify's and your Apple Music and all of that. But one thing I've also realized is, if it was back then, I wasn't going to be able to afford those things. So I think another issue that we are facing is our market, like who are our consumers? Because I feel like most of the guys who listen to this music, some of them, they don't have the means to actually pay as little as 60 Rand or 30 Rand of a Spotify account, that is. But they're still willing to actually support the artist, that is. So I think like that's one of the main issues that we are actually facing. And then another thing, so I'd say I try to play my part, but sometimes it's overwhelming, that is, to do the whole supporting. For instance, I started to actually get on the streaming platforms. And then the guys actually tweet Facebook. They like, no, that's still not enough actually, because we're not getting enough from these platforms, these Spotify companies and all of that. So you try now to move to other purchasing platform, that is your Bandcamp, your Traxsource. And then also the guys are still not happy. They now try to do direct purchases.
And also
direct
remember,
sales.
you can't please them, so don't try to please them. Just do your part, and you don't have to even tell them that you bought their song. You know, just like when you go and buy a bottle of Coca-Cola, you don't go and say, "Where's the manager? Manager, I just bought. Are you pleased?" So even with the music, just treat them like that. When I go do your beats, if you go to Bandcamp, trust me, they get a bigger cut than when you are streaming. And also do it when you can. Don't let them bully you into buying their music, but man, you do what you can. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. But then thing is also with this artist, one thing that I've also realized, I've collected more music than most of the DJs that I know, most of the producers themselves. So the support, they expect it from the fans, but they don't support each other themselves, right? So you find that you have something that you've actually bought, and then someone as a DJ would want you to give them for free. That is, I think, like the issue lies actually it's internally on the producer side before we can actually address what the listeners, what you guys expect the listeners to do. I mean, the unity need to start with you guys, that is, because what I've also noted is like there's so many different teams. So you find that there's a team of whoever and whoever, and there's a team of whoever. You scroll through the pages like Bahohelana Discam Beda and all of that. But because you follow, you can actually pick up who they're talking about, you know. So that also like it's kind of discouraging because of now you don't want to choose the side. For instance, if I'm rocking merchandise, watch Chymamusique, and I come across someone else, and then he's not your biggest fan, but he's also one of my favorite producers. So now I'm conscious because I saw like what they actually write about other producers on socials. So that also like it kind of like conflicting amongst the movement itself.
Like I said, do your part. If they fight. Just like even Likos Kolong, even siblings fight. There's never gonna be 100% unity in the world. Even presidents of the world, they fight. That's all as they are. So do your part. Whatever. If Baholana is don't when I do what. Even when you buy something that you love for yourself. Do it for yourself. It starts with you. And if you feel like maybe Baholana is that's how human beings are. That's our nature.
Oh yes, yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. Otherwise, thanks for the opportunity to speak and get to raise my comments and insight. That is.
Thank you, Pal. Thank you, Para.
Okay. We were supposed to have Thembi Sile speak, but it doesn't look like she's still part of the speakers panel. But can we kindly have Pash speaking first, and then we're gonna have Uzito. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, if there's anybody that needs to say something, please raise your hand and actually request the mic. And then raise your hand, and then you'll be recognized. Thank you.
Thanks. I'm trying to get a name here, but I think I'm struggling. But it's
Nozul. It's okay. Nozul.
Hey, Chima, I think yeah. Thanks, Nozul. I think this is a great platform for everyone, actually. You know, from both ends, consumers, music creators, and also I think the people that are in the music space. I mean, I saw a good friend of mine as well here. He just spoke not so long ago. Beatmaker. So it's great to have this platform, and I think I should encourage you guys to honestly do this every week if needs be. Information sharing I think is important for both ends. And I think we should just encourage this platform, because I think one of the biggest challenges from coming in the music business side is lack of information in the industry. A lot of people complain when things go left, and I think we should encourage this kind of open conversation to happen, because, I mean, in this day and age, I don't think we should wait for music conferences to happen, There's a platform that gives us this voice to be able to voice the problems that we may be coming across collectively. But I think, I mean, I don't know what to say. From the music business, I think there's a lot to learn from music, from the radio station perspective. Sure, I think there's a lot. I think the competition is tough, for you guys as composers. There's literally new music that's coming out almost every day, and it's so difficult when you sit with your music team to check what they're putting out there, because obviously then as a radio station we have a particular sound that we play. But like the music that we're getting, it's no longer like we're not getting anything that's great. I think 90% of the sound that we're getting is really authentic, it's great, and most of it is coming from home, but it's just so difficult. Like even when we put a particular music on high rotation, so our high rotation, it doesn't even last for a month anymore, because we have so much music that we need to put on high rotation that's so authentic and that's great. I mean, we don't buy face. We're just playing music that we think this is great for our listeners. I mean, we've put a couple of songs. I mean, like your song Chima that you did the other time, the retro remix. I mean, it stayed on high rotation for probably like 3 weeks, then it was gone. So it's just so difficult. Never had before artists. And when you check these guys, they are nowhere to be found on socials, firstly, and they're not pushing their content. It's even difficult to trace them when you try to encourage your team to find these guys to have interviews with them, because we're all about that. We're all about giving opportunity to guys that are doing great, but are struggling to be put up on the map. So I would encourage guys that are doing music to really work hard on putting their face out there, and just pushing their music out as often as they can, because once we pick your sound, there's more that we would love to hear from you, So if one song is amazing, we would love to hear more of the music that you're doing. But when you go to your space, there's nothing. We can't even, when we DM you, our DMs are not responded to. So it's just like we end up being like a drop in the ocean, and it's a missed opportunity. God done.
And then when it comes to, because I know you worked with big corporations, I'm not sure if I can mention the name.
Well, you can.
Yeah, I know you've been with Samro for a long time. What's the biggest mistake that most composers and music makers do when you're looking at everything?
Sure, like I said, I think the biggest challenge is being excited, being excited in the studio. I think I've seen this so often. People being excited in the studio, making music without having any contracts in place. And the song suddenly it's bubbling under, it's becoming big. And suddenly people are chewing each. They're fighting because now everyone wants a big chunk of this song, And then when you look back, and it's difficult to negotiate when the song is big. I mean, there are incidents of big songs that people were fighting in public because there was no contract in place, and the song then become this huge worldwide global hit. And it's difficult for you guys to sit and negotiate around the table when already the song is that massive, because everyone feels that my contribution was more bigger than the other person. So that's why it's very important. Don't be too excited, even if you're just doing with friends. Make sure that you have some legal binding documents, even if it's a one-pager, to say we are going, if it's a 50-50 split, we're doing 50-50 split. I own the composition, you own the lyrical part from the song. And so that tomorrow when that song blows up, if, God's willing, if it does, then you have protected your space and your shares, and everything goes smoothly.
Hope sizwile. So
I mean, you guys always make that mistake.
When it comes to the contract, each one who took part must have a copy, right?
Sure. Yeah. And it must be
like with one. Yeah.
No, and it must be specifically mentioned what your role was on the song, and and the percentage, and the ownership. The master ownership. If there would be such, if indeed you were then given a artist fee for being a part of the song. If you are a vocalist, then you are paid off a particular certain amount to be a part of the song. Then it should be stipulated that you were paid off, and you're not gonna gain anything beyond maybe royalties.
Yeah, because there are those artists that want you to give them money. They're like, I don't want the royalties. Just pay me now my 50,000, and I don't want to be part of the song. And the next thing is big. They come running to you saying, hey, where's my, more money.
No, and it's good and fair. You know, if somebody wants to be paid and they don't want anything to do with the song, let it be on paper. Everything must be documented. People must sign, and you go your ways. Everyone must have the copies of the contract done.
Noted.
We heard, ladies and gentlemen, from Mr. Pash, the importance of drafting a contract. Whether you guys decided to record nidlala, playing around, or whatever the case is, just have it on record somehow, whether it's a small little paper where you guys both sign or whatever the case is, but just have backup of some sort. We have Uzito, who is meant to also speak, and we had, geez, where's the gentleman? I think he actually left. Anybody else that wants to speak after Uzito, you may just raise your hand. And we also have it's Vendor Orchard. Vendor Orchard, if you'd like to speak, sir, after Uzito, you kindly may.
Cool. So on my side, I think what I wanted to address was just maybe it's gonna take a little bit of reverse because I left the conversation and came back, and I think Chamo, you were talking about interacting with your fans and being the same person online and offline, and like how those, because my question is just based on like how those different personalities affect your your fan base or your interaction with people or your presence on like social media, because you are definitely doing it well and interacting with everybody and being serious about business and all this kind of stuff, but like there's also like the side of people who are like extremely introverted, who just say, hey bro, I just want to make music and that's it. I don't want to talk to anybody online. I don't want to do anything like that. And some of them that works in the advantage, some of them doesn't, depending on their on like how good your music is, because to some fans, like a typical example is like Kendrick Lamar, like he's inaccessible on like social media, right? But because of the how good his music is, people, even if he just tweets a full stop, people go crazy, like what the hell does that mean, right? So YouTube channel where they're breaking down what that full stop meant on Twitter, right? So I think understanding the kind of person you are is really really important, because I can't be out here copying what Chama is doing, because that's not me, right?
Yes.
If that person, how do you make that work in your own advantage and stuff like that, right? So so yeah, understanding your personality is really really important, because we live in a social media time where everything is text, and text can people can attach a wrong tone to your text. You can say it as a joke, and then someone's read it as a serious thing, and then it becomes a whole thing. And then in this cancel culture, you're out here saying hashtag no more Zito. So your personality is really really important, and understanding how other people see it is really really important. And then the last thing that I wanted to mention, that I think maybe producers should look into, um, um, is something called Skillshare. Some of you might know it. I use it for my design classes. Like I record myself teaching people how to design a certain thing, break it down into sections, and upload it. And it's almost like for me, it has been a very good investment, because even when you're sleeping, someone and on the other side of the world is watching that video, and you get paid for it. So I feel like producers maybe should start looking into those kind of things, where you like the title of my video is how to make Chama music sound or whatever, right? And then you put it on Skillshare. Private, nobody can like Skillshare class on YouTube. Maybe the only thing that would be on YouTube would be like some sort of a trailer that leads to that class. So I feel like maybe some of the producer, you can start looking into that thing, because it's a good investment. Imagine you're making money even when you're sleeping.
Yeah.
So that's some of the like fields that maybe you could start checking into. And I feel like the best research you can make is not to only make research that's based on your industry. what other industries are doing and see how you can bring that into your kind of space and make that work for you. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Thanks.
And I see there's the legend here, Fistas Mixwell. I know he's a tech person, apps. He's got an app running and he's done a lot for the industry. I wish he could speak and also give us an insight on when it comes to having that app and tips and the inside knowledge when he's ready to also speak later, I guess. Yeah. I see there's a hand there, Nema.
No, wait. We were supposed to start with Uvenda, with Venda, and then Umatapelo, I think.
Oh.
Matapelo, yeah. Umatapelo, because he's been requesting, and then whenever would accept, it would kick him out.
Oh.
So let's just give them a chance, and then Unema can just come in thereafter.
All right.
And then there's what's his name again? The gift thereafter.
All right, afternoon, everyone. I just want to find out if you guys can hear me clearly before I begin.
Yeah, bo.
Yeah, bo.
Yes, sir.
All right, lovely. My name is actually Rudzani, but yeah, I go by Venda Orchard on Twitter just because. There's no reason. It's literally just because. So I've been listening to this conversation for a bit now. I wanted to actually jump in at the time when you guys were speaking about how other websites and other people post your music on your behalf and then they monetize on it, right?
Okay.
I've been reading up recently. It's just that I'm not fully into IT and I didn't do that much research, but I'm a DJ as well, so I thought about it. I thought about how people actually monetize on apps that people download on Play Store, and because all those companies that create those apps, they get money for the interactions, for every download, for certain clicks on the app, you know what I mean? And even these type of websites where we usually get baited into going onto, like, what was this one recently, Bamboo, where people had to share a link to get money and then withdraw it in the end. The company that actually does that monetizes on those clicks. So would it not be a good idea if probably you guys were to link up maybe with an association with the department or just you guys as artists and create a South African music app where artists can go and register, get feedback from certain music individuals and certain celebrities in the game. You have your professors of music as well that teach music and sound. I forgot the complete term, but yeah, they are educators of these things as well. So we could also get them on a freelance thing to also help out people on the app and on those websites, like a live chat perhaps, or the question of the day, the highest asked question of the day in the group tomorrow will be the topic, and then they break it down for them. You know what I mean? I think that way artists can also monetize from it per download or per click, and then the viewers or the customers, the people that need it, can also reach out to you guys and to other people who also know how to do it as well, just in case they can't find you guys to actually teach them how to do it. That was the one point. The second point was, I've noticed that one of the big problems that we have in terms of the industry is that when we look for talent, we usually look for it in the city. And the majority of the talent, I'm not sure if some of the artists and DJs here started their careers in their hometowns or in smaller cities, but I feel like that's where the majority of the talent is. But because of certain factors within the certain environment itself or finances, those people are not able to branch out fully and get into the game. So majority of the time we tend to miss out on those people because we don't look at those small towns or those small cities as well. So I don't know. I think that should also. Yes, you may.
Yeah, that goes to demand versus supply. There's lots of producers. There's lots of musicians. There's maybe I don't know how many songs are out every day. So to go out looking for another producer who you don't know, it's quite a difficult one. You know, so it's a demand versus supply kind of thing. And you bring the child into the game. Next thing they can't study. They can't focus on studying. As you see the industry, Ramaphosa COVID, kuyavala, kuyavula, so there's no much guarantees. So instead of what we do, we try to get people to actually try to do other things outside of the entertainment, because the entertainment closes and iyavula, iyavala, yabo? So there's no guarantees. Yeah.
Oh, okay, no, I fully understand that. No, it makes sense. And then I also had a question to pose, maybe for all the artists and DJs that are also here that don't know how to actually register as an artist or as a DJ. And I'm not even sure if you can actually just register as a DJ who just mixes music and doesn't compile their own music or make their own music as well. You know what I mean? So it could be a question that some people wanted to pose, but they couldn't.
Someone who has an answer, please help. I see Pesh was here from Samro. I'm not sure if he's still here or he's now busy, because he was gonna. Because I remember there were DJ licenses at some time, and there was lots of drama, but it ended nowhere. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. So he was gonna be the right person to give an answer. I'll try and reach out to him to come and answer.
All right. No, definitely. Then I think everyone who just wants an answer to that question should probably just follow him, so that they stay tuned for what he has to say.
Yeah, that's true. And yeah, guys, like I just said earlier, please do follow each other as well. And we're gonna have Umatabelo and then with a gift thereafter. And if any of you guys also want to speak, like I said earlier on, please do raise your hand, and we'll head over the mic, or we'll give you the opportunity, which is after all the gift, we said Unema, and yeah, but you guys can actually request the mic. We'll definitely give it over.
Hi everyone, this is Sonic from Redeemer Sounds. So Matapelo is actually my latest EP. Okay, so I have a question for Chymamusique. So I actually manage two labels, Redeemer Sounds and my own. So what I've discovered was most artists think that maybe releasing with a big label will actually put them on the map. So looking at your journey, you've been independent, almost I think even now you're still independent. So when you started your journey, what was in your mind, or no, I get an go pusher, really independent, I'm not gonna sign with big artists? Because I think a lot of artists actually think that if I'm signed with a big label, it means go popa, go zaga, and it's actually not like that. So how did you do it, and what made you be independent?
It works for some. Well, and now if you check, I've been working with the bigger labels, then distribution, and also just building relationships is very important for me. So with regards of me not signing, it was the fact that already I managed to release some few songs that managed to be able to give me gigs almost every weekend. And when the label comes, they want the 360 deal, which will mean now they'll take a percentage of whatever I make, and try to, also some wanted to pay me a salary. And the salary at that time that they had offered was lower than what I was already making myself. But if you check the music that green, it's not deemed as very commercial and not big on it, not big on radio, and also just listenership. For a song to get million streams from my side, it's a very niche market. So for me, it worked for me to be independent and just rather work with the other labels.
Okay, I know, I hear. And then my last question is now since we're moving digitally, do you think it's actually gonna be an advantage for us or a disadvantage? Because for me, in my view, I feel like these digital stores are actually taking more than when they were selling CDs back then. So what's your take on us moving digital?
I mean, now you can't stop the world. Everything is technology. I see most people are starting to have their own online stores, and some are having the apps, of which Nema was talking about earlier. So I think money is still in events online. If put yourself in a space where you are able to be it do your own events, be it have an app if you'll be able to market it. But having numbers also helps, because at least when you preach a word and your song is out or pre-order, you get those people who are gonna listen. And if the album is that good, or maybe the songs are that good, then you get bookings. But for now, all I say, even with music, when I release music, I always say it's a CV. Any other thing that comes out of there, then it's just the extra nyana. But the music and getting gigs is the goal. The CV is putting the music out and making sure that it reaches the right people. Be it on the biggest app or the biggest playlist on iTunes or Spotify, or which Zito was talking about, pitching the songs to actually the playlists, because that's where the listeners are. Finding your music at the right space at the right time. I think that just works on. And sometimes you never know when is the right space and when is the right time. Sometimes it's also good to check. That's why most labels release music on Thursday, on Friday, so that, because on Friday people are searching for music. You can't release a song on Monday, man. We're all tired. It's also timing, learning and seeing when your people are really searching for music. It would work for you, but everything is digital. If you can have your own app or own website where you can sell your music and also get your people to subscribe, then it will work for you. Uspana body nice.
Yeah, it's panel bad nice. I keep Brewery Academy.
All right, that's good, guys. You guys work hard, yeah.
No, thank you so much, guys. Let's keep supporting each other, and God bless.
Oh, no.
Okay. I had what is his name again? Okay, Matapelo said it was your EP, ne?
Yes,
but what I wanted to say is another thing that I see when it comes to digital space that people don't capitalize on. Most artists spend a lot of time on Facebook, and you love going live. Like, you find yourself, if you check even artists that are not even big, they're sitting on 100,000s of followers or likes or everything on Facebook. But none of artists or those people try and capitalize on that, because the moment, I forgot the numbers, but the moment you hit something like your 16,000 followers or 18,000 followers and a couple of about 10,000 minutes, I don't remember correctly, what happens is that any video that is over 3 minutes, Facebook will pay you for those adverts. But you find that people just enjoy being live and they celebrate the comments and the likes, but they don't position themselves to make money out of all those things. Because if you are live 3, 4, 5 times a day or 5 times a week, and you're spending like 10 to 20 minutes, those videos are supposed to be making you money. Whether you singing, whether you just talking to your fans, whatever you're doing online on your page, that page should be your sponsor for you to be able to buy equipment, to travel, to invest back into your equipment or your studio. But you find people are not capitalizing on that. What they do, I'll give an example. Like, you find people complaining. I recently spoke about having music video. There's a track that was supposed to have a music video, which comes out of Venda. It was supposed to be one of the biggest songs that have broke for that boy to be commercially now. There's no music video. When I try to say the track's supposed to have a music video, they say, but we don't have money. But you're drinking 200 to 300 a week. You're spending like 400 a weekend. If you take that money and you approach some student that is doing videography, or your friend that have video, or you have a friend that is using an iPhone or a Samsung that has a high quality, you can shoot something instead of saying, I can't do that. Because the more video clips that you have online, which is your social presence, your social footprint. If you're gonna have videos on TikTok, have the videos on YouTube, have videos on Twitter, have videos on Instagram, each and every single platform, make sure that you have your videos that are put up there. Because those videos are the ones that, if I hear your song, or you come back and drop a remix, but the original song does not have a video, but the remix has a video, the first song I'm gonna go and look for is the original one. Where is the video? That's what they're saying, your music is your CV. And one thing that most of the artists, they fell victim of, again, upcoming artists, they will say, because this artist is big, they save up money, they save up 15 to 20, 30,000. You go and feature the artist. Once you feature that artist because you're big, you're expecting yourself to blow up immediately. And then when you don't blow up, then you end up being depressed. and you start fighting with everyone that the industry is closing doors for me, no one likes me. But you forgot that if you took that money and trying to invest it back in you and find those artists that are doing good, but they're not that big, and partner with them, work with them, share your music with them. You go to taverns that have jukeboxes. You try and get everyone to put your song on those jukeboxes. DJs in the taverns, DJs in the pub, DJs in the street bashes. Get them to play your music. Try, even if you have to buy him coke for him to play your song when you're still there and give you a space to perform. Do that. I know there's artists that pays promoters to allow them to perform. There were artists back then that when they see that their career was going down the drain, they started doing that to try to come back. Partner with artists that you know that if you're up there now, these artists are going big, let me work with these artists so that you stay relevant in the game and make sure that you don't disappear just like that. And when it comes to that issue of contracts, it's an issue that we're facing it big time. And I think this year and a couple of years to come, we're going to have a huge problem because most of the artists are just doing songs. And once they do the songs, when the song blow up, they're going to fight saying that, but this is my song. No, I'm supposed to own more percentages. Instead of making sure that from the beginning, you have an agreement. Whether the song blows up, the song doesn't blow up. Because you might find that the song that was released, I'll give an example. Some of the guys from Venda, they know. There's a track called Bomb It Them Daza, which is one of the first hip-hop song that was dropped years ago, which was pure Venda track. That track, to my surprise, during lockdown, made a lot of money. But it's a track that I had forgotten about it. I never thought that track would still come back. But the track came back, and now it's still doing good. It's not even on radio, but in the digital space, it's still doing good. And I've monetized it long time ago. So what I'm saying is that as an artist, even if you have old songs, get them on a space. There's digital stores. I know some complain that we can't afford to put our music online to digital stores. There's companies that allows you to put music online for free, which means on every $100 you make, they'll take 15 Rand. And then you keep your music forever on the digital store. You don't have to pay a cent. Besides that, you have that 85-15% share. That you take more, which is 85, they take 15. Why are not artists doing that? Drop every single song you have on the digital space. Make sure that it's out there. The more music you have, the more content you have out there, the more people can discover you. So yeah, that's what I want to say right now.
Oh, thank you very much, Nima. But please do stay online because I'm sure they definitely have questions for you. And now we have the gift. He's been online for quite a while. And anybody else that wants to speak after the gift, please do raise your hand so that we can actually recognize you. Thank you.
Can everyone hear me?
Ebo.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. My name is Andile. I'm one half of production group called Freezer Beats. I just wanted to thank you guys for making this platform available for us to just communicate and share stories and useful information. What I just want to share, I'll try and be brief because I'm having issues with my battery. It's just directed to the music producers that are currently present here. It's just to speak to the guys and girls to just take the time now whilst we're going through the whole pandemic where things are on a bit of a slowdown, to sort of learn the industry. I know that initially there was a whole praise of how most of the conferences and shows have now gone to being online and being available on digital spaces. That's the opportunity that we now have, whereby we are now in a position to be the flies on the walls in meetings and webinars and listen to key stakeholders and also key players in the industry just discussing and talking, because especially with the whole rise of podcasts, there's quite a lot that you can learn through just the conversations that happen in podcasts. If you pay attention to the type of content that you search for, where you're not only just following the gossip side of podcasters, but there's also some nice industry-related ones that are really eye-openers. And also what I just wanted to finish off with is through learning the industry, which was my first point, is that we become open or we know more about the scope of work that we can do within the industry. Because to be honest, guys, not all of us will make it or will have a break in the commercial space. But being a music producer or someone that does compositions or songwriting, there's other avenues that you can tap into that will maybe even bring you more money than if you were to be someone who's active in the commercial music scene. So, I mean, I know there's always this talk of, especially when we're talking on the artist front, where you need to put together your team. You as a music producer as well, you need to have a team of your own. From what I've learned so far is I know that you, as a producer, which is something that we also still checking for as well, is it's highly recommended that you have someone like a publisher. You also now need to be more encouraged in terms of interacting and networking with people outside of music, especially now that we're seeing a lot of rise in content creation, and most of this content needs music in the background. So if you're able to go onto social platforms, more especially like LinkedIn, you follow people that are involved in film, in agencies, content creators, you just try and see how you can assist them and try and see how you can grow with these different creators that are out there. Just like how we've always been preaching about finding an artist that you're going to grow up with, now I think it calls for us to also find other creators, not just artists, but other active creators in the industry or different industries that we can collaborate and grow our brands with, because there is money outside of just being commercially successful or in the streams that we always hearing about, especially when people talking about success. But there's things like music libraries, there's synchronization that's available. So if you know, it becomes easier to map out your direction or how you're going to move and the people that you're going to need to sort of fulfill the goals that you're trying to aim for. So yeah, that was just it for me. We must just learn and try and spread out as much as possible through working together and collaborating with more creators and people out there. Thank you.
Thank you, Andile, for your wise words. And Chyma, do you want to say anything?
No, I agree with him. There's actually not all the music makers and producers or writers are gonna be like, no. There's always people in the background. There's maybe someone who's doing the PR, someone marketing, someone writing for a bigger artist because chances are maybe they can't sing. There's people who also forced to sing, whereas they actually can't sing, but they can write. So if you try and spread your wings and know yourself and know the space that you belong in, then you can thrive in whatever that is. So I agree.
Oh, thank you very much, Chyma. There was somebody else that wanted to speak. It was 7 a.m. I hope that's his name. 7 a.m. You may continue, sir.
Okay, guys, my name is Eddie. My question is for Chymamusique. I heard that he mentioned something about the 360 deal. So I would like him to at least explain so that I can understand. Okay, because I've always heard people talking about the 360 deal. So Can you please at least say something about it? Okay, maybe today I'll understand something from it. Thank you.
All right. A 360 deal is a deal where the label signs you it's like they run everything that you do. From gigging to making music, they'll tell you when you must release an album and also try to get you some features and stuff like that. So you become like their artists, so they run everything about you. They do PR, they do marketing, but most of the money that you might make, or chances are it goes to the label. But it works for some people because there are people who are not able to make money by themselves. And it doesn't work for the ones who already have their own market and are able to generate income from their own capacity. So 360 deal literally comes and takes you. You are talented, you don't know paperwork, you don't know how to probably market your music and stuff like that. Maybe that by then you're also not making money, you're just talented. They saw your video on TikTok or they saw your video on Instagram. Assets and start you from 0 to 100. That's why it's called 360, because 360 is like all rounder. They do everything for you, but they earn money. When you earn money, when your talent and their work makes money, they get the percentage, a big percentage of that.
Let's just put it simple like this. If you make something like 5 million, you're probably gonna get about 500K. Simple like that.
All right, thank you.
Okay, we've had what's his name again? It was Xavier. We've had him online wanting to. I don't know whether he wanted to speak or not, but he requested to be a speaker, and he hasn't raised his hand. So I'm not sure if he really does want to speak. Xavier, do you have anything to say before we move on to the new requesters? Xavier?
Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes,
Thank you so much. No, it was a mistake, but I'm enjoying the conversation and learning a lot. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome, sir. Anybody else that needs to say anything or that wants to say
There's a guy
anything?
called Staring or Giba. Okay, let me go. Staring. His hand was up. Okay, accept. I'm not sure if it's his network. It says connecting from my side.
All the speakers and the hosts. You guys are really sharing valuable information. I have a question for Chymamusique. I understand that we're really moving into a digital space, or we already have moved into a digital space. And there's so many advantages, but I am just concerned about how artists collaborate and the paperwork that needs to be involved. I'd like to know maybe a bit more about the paperwork that needs to be involved. Let's say, for example, no one really these days goes to studios to visit each other. There might be artists that still do that, but these days people are sending back and forth. They're sending separates, they're sending vocals, they're sending whatever it may be through these cloud-based systems. And Chyma, to my knowledge, I understand and I know that you mix and master a few of the artists' projects. So I'd like to know and understand what goes on and what is the paperwork that prevents an artist or a DJ or someone who wants to release a project and he's sending separates to you to get them properly mixed and mastered. What is the paperwork that goes on behind for preventing you or the engineer or someone who's doing the background work to not use your ideas as an artist? Maybe you want to hold the project back for a year or just release it maybe later on. What stops engineers? What stops mastering engineers? What stops mixing engineers who are also artists or who hang with artists to stop stealing ideas or maybe taking or learning from something that was mixed down or an instrument that was played?
At first, before you send us the song, I think you must register it with Samro. The moment it's registered with Samro, then you are safe.
Mm.
But in most cases, with engineers from my side, I know most of the songs that I work on, I don't even remember them after a day. Because that's the amount of work that I'm doing. Because I work on the dynamics. I don't even hear the lyrics, what they are saying fully.
Yeah.
I just work on the dynamics of the song to make sure that it sounds right. The next day it's out. I'm working on another one. So it's not easy for engineer. I've never heard of a story where an engineer stole someone's song. It's normally people who work together, but also if the song is registered, you can always just get your song back. But even the stealing of songs, does it still happen really? I think people, what they do now, they sample your song and you get paid for it. I haven't had a story where people steal someone, unless if they work on the song together and then now they are fighting for the percentages. Because another thing, someone, even if they hear something and they learn from you, it's a good thing. I think it means shows that you are inspirational. So if someone hears my song and they learn something from it, for me it's good. I don't feel like because it can't sound the same. Trust me. Even myself, if I make a song and the next thing load shedding hits, it's impossible that I can make the same song again for it to sound almost the same. The progression might be the same, but it's always going to be different. That's another thing about music.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. Can I just like?
Unless if it's someone who takes your stems and they make their own song, maybe you hear the same piano that you played. But if your song is registered, then, and remember when you save projects, you must date them. So they've got dates. You can go and now dispute and get your money back or get whoever that person is sued. Of which I think many people are scared of stealing anyone's song because it comes back, paints you as a bad person, and everyone else who ever supported you starts to doubt you.
Yeah, I understand that. Thanks for answering. Yeah. But I also wanted to just add one more thing, if you don't mind, because we're dealing with a lot of people who want to be authentic. Like, there's so many genres coming up from other subgenres, and the discussion is always who came up with what, because at the end of the day, whoever's authentic and whoever came up with that sound might stand the chances of being at the limelight or being booked more or making more money because it's his style. So I think my question was more based on sharp, or you're sending separate, you are a piano player or you're maybe a trumpet player. It gets mixed, but maybe in the mixing session there was another artist and then he saw maybe the stems or maybe he saw the style of playing and then he creates from that idea. What happens now?
It's not. In sessions, normally you never find any other person. I've never been in a session where I'm working on someone's song and there's other people. But if maybe with other people it happens, but I've never heard of it also. Are you asking something that happened, or is it something that you're just sitting and thinking about?
Personally, this is something that happened. I feel like, when you've heard like maybe a few songs and maybe you're a songwriter yourself and then you've played them to a few people in different circles, looking to get advice or maybe looking to get a feature or maybe to work with someone in the near future. And then a couple of months later, the same guy is literally working on the same sound. So,
is it the same song or the same sound? Then that's okay, man. We all there's obviously, even if you release it, there's other people who are gonna do the same sound. That should make you proud. Otherwise, you'll never release or put out anything because you'll be worried they'll steal it. And because the world is diverse, people are talented. If they can do something that sounds like you, Oksala, you will be the one who's seen as a star, because every person who knows your sound, they'll hear with her, this sounds like Mamang. Actually, some people will even think it's you. Because I remember with myself also, there are songs that people release that sound like me. People, when they get them from maybe whatever pirate site, you find them written Chymamusique, and they're not even my songs, but they'll still get me booked.
Yeah, I understand.
I don't even know the song. First time I hear it, I'm like, wow, really, people thought this is me, and indeed it sounds like me. I'm just like, okay, take my bookings and be quiet.
I understand that.
That's why it's important to be unique from the get-go and stick to your sound, and not go left, right, and center. So your people end up knowing your sound and knowing your touch.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, man.
But it always works for you. That's for sure.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Did it work for you after they stole your song?
To a certain extent. It's just unfortunately I never released anything just after that. Yeah, I should have carried on with the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, James. We have Umpo, who's also wanted to speak for a while as well, who's been coming in and out of the space.
Let's end the
Umpo,
space at 3:30, guys.
Yeah?
We
Sorry,
can end the
pardon,
space
what?
at 3:30, ne?
Oh, okay. No, it's cool. That's
yeah,
cool.
we can. It's Friday.
So
It's
yeah,
been on.
no, it has been on for a while now. Mpo, and others, if you'd like to speak, we'll start with Mpo, then we'll go to Unema because he's raised his hand. No, actually, Nema, when I'd like for you to actually finish, we'll have a master no giraffe, and then you can come on because we're now resident here to Galo.
Hi guys, hi again. Yeah, so I just want to check with Chema as an artist. That is, so where are you sitting now? That is, what do you think would be like more beneficial for like the upcoming artists? What should be their more main focus? That is, because I feel like the guys are complaining that they're not making enough sales. But from what I am hearing, we're leaning towards to releasing more music so that they can like get bookings. Do you feel like that's like the approach that they can actually follow to make it to like mainstream, or should they actually, I don't know, focus on selling music, that is, or you think it's something that they can maybe hit like, was this two pits one stone?
I mean, I think for anyone who's making music, my advice is always networking. You know, giving your songs to the right people but start with your community radio stations because they're likely to play your song than the bigger stations. Like it all starts small. You don't wanna. It's your first song. Next thing you wanna be on a live interview, go metro. So start there in your community. Do your own small gigs. I started there too. I did my own small gigs where people were paying 10 rand. Sometimes they entered for free, but there's always a sacrifice behind everything. So start there at home. Let your people listen to you and support you coming all the way up. Chances are, if it's whatever you're doing is really good, then they'll start talking for you. You don't have to speak for yourself all the time. And also another thing with radio stations, they pick up music from actually internet. If people are writing about the song a lot, they are bound to come and start looking for it. You don't have to even go and send it to them. They'll come to you and ask, we heard your song, can you please send us the radio edit? So the whole thing goes back to just make sure that your music is good quality, your craft is clean and it's proper. Trust me, they'll come looking for you. Because one mistake that I see most people doing, they'll work on a song, it's not a good quality song, but they'll force you to come to listen to it. Even if after people listened, as long as it's not good, chances are they'll not go back, and they won't come looking for you because they'll feel like this one sounds like Smamang, or this song quality is so bad. You know, they can only listen to it once and skip it. Actually, even. But if it's that good, they'll keep on coming for you and actually follow you and start looking for everything that you do.
Okay, cool stuff. Just additional question, that is, I don't know. I feel like most of the guys in like the production space underestimate the power of teaming. That is, so like what I've realized, like some of the guys don't believe in getting people to some of the craft for them. That is, you find that a person would like to work on everything themselves. That is, running was this a record label, doing a song master and all of that. That is so. I just want to check from you. From the beginning, that is, I don't believe you always afforded a team from the start. So, what would be your advice from someone who is actually studying? Because I know, like, some of these things come at a cost, and most of the upcoming artists don't really have the means to actually like pay for those for instance, your mastering and mixing. Like, what would be your advice to those young upcoming artists when like they're trying to actually make it work?
Work. I always say work with what you have, with your locals. You know, in your hood somewhere, there's someone who knows that you do that, and then work with them. Chances are they'll charge you lesser. It all starts at home, but I would lie to you. Even me, I remember when I started, Nelly Rena Libo Brazo and then Libo Da Capo, like it was like, okay, now after I'm done with this, so I can send it to Brazo to listen and tell him what he hears, you know. But it all starts with the people you have around you, and also releasing less music. Maybe it can also help. You can set a budget on the side, until it reaches a certain amount. Then you can work on one good quality song, so you don't have to release many songs where you have to pay the engineers all the time and the writers all the time. One good song that's done by professional people, where you spend maybe a certain amount of money to do it, and a music video, then you're out from there. It makes you all the money back, because it doesn't help spending 3,000 on a song that's not well done, and then spending another one is not well done. Rather spend maybe 15,000 on one song that's gonna go out there and be everywhere, you know. Patience, and also working with people. Send it to people before you release, people that you trust, for them to listen and give you feedback. Out of 100 people, at least 2 people, I'm sure they will get back to you.
Okay, no, cool stuff. I think that would be all from my side in the interest of time.
Well,
okay. Thank you very much, Mpo. Ladies and gentlemen, do not forget to follow each other, and we're gonna be giving a chance to Master T to ask or throw in whatever it is that he would like to say. Then we have Ujirafi, then we have Onema.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Sure, we can, sir.
Okay.
You may continue.
My name is Voyel Palo from the Val. Otherwise, I go by the name of Master T from Scoop Entertainment. I just have one question. It's a quick question with something that happened a few months ago with the Master KG song Jerusalem. I would like to know, how does it happen that the song makes it on radio and commercial stores, while the contributors to the work haven't reached an agreement on the percentages? So that will be all for me. So it's open to the room, so not only to Chymamusique. Thank you.
With that one, I think there was paperwork. Just that, you know, when the song gets big, obviously there's always gonna be renegotiation or okay. But now, because I think the biggest fight with them was the fact that the other lady was no longer taken to go and perform with them for whatever politics. And remember, now they work with labels. And the song, even before actually there were fights, the song was already big and it was out there already. So I think it's just something that they had disagreements maybe along the way. But I find that the disagreements are quite small. So one person just got too petty and be like, okay, now because I was part of the song, then yeah. You know, but I think there was agreement. There's no way there wasn't agreement, because the song was out from a big label, open mic, and I'm as far as I know, they do have their paperwork in order. So I think it was just social media drama. Really, most people just enjoy the social media drama and cloud, and they forget that they've signed and they've got agreements, and chances are they even get their money that they were promised. That's why it died off a little bit quickly. Drama was on social media. I don't think in their real lives they were really fighting. They know their agreements and everyone else's.
Okay. No, thank you very much. I've been answered.
Cheers.
Mr. Giraffe, do you still want to say anything?
Hello, everyone. My name is Giraffe from Devon. Yeah. I'm an upcoming artist, but way back, yeah. Yeah. But since I'm not known very well and I'm still new in the game, I'll just label myself as a new guy in the game, you know, because I haven't been shining like a while, you know. But my question basically is that I'm still struggling with getting a response from the radio station. I've heard Chymamusique said I should start on my local, but even the local, they're hard to respond. I mean, especially at this time, since we got this COVID thing, you know, they're putting these restrictions of social distance, you know, and I'm still fighting to get my song on the radio, and they're not responding. It had to call them because sometimes they take long to answer. If you understand what I'm saying. And another thing, I believe that if your song plays on the radio, you get more attention than the people who are around you. They give you much respect when they start to hear your song on the radio. Before you even try to push with your links on your song and try to work hard on your social network. You know what I'm saying? So my question basically is all about how do I make them to respond? Because before we used to pressurize them, go face to face, trying to know what's going on with the submission or things, if you know what I'm saying.
But then, how are your homies responding to your music? Do they say your music is rocking?
Yeah. Let me just put it in this way. I used to groom the young kid who came to me and want to be the part of their music. I'm doing hip hop and wanted to learn something out of hip hop. I groomed the kids, and they grew up in a way that we were eating on the same plate together. I mean, recording the whole song together with them, and then they turn their back on me. This group thing, how it goes. They turn their back on me. They lose their loyalty on me. They think I'm gonna betray them. I'm gonna hold them because I was starting to see the business side, and I tried to make some few things which is kind of a contract, if you understand what I'm saying. And then they tried to turn back on me. Then I was left alone. So I tend to be on my own, and then I started afresh to say that, you know what, I need to build and focus on myself. And right now,
how's your following on social media? Is it good?
I just recently checked on Reverb Nation. Yeah, it's growing. Right now, I'm still having 629 right now, and on Instagram it's 100. On Twitter, I'm still new. I'm still trying. Last time I checked, it was 100 and something, but it's growing each day. Yeah.
Please send me your sound. Let me hear if there's maybe an issue that they hear. Because chances are, radios they downloaded their songs, but they felt like, okay, maybe it won't work for them.
Okay.
But when trust me, whenever it's good and they feel like it will work for their market, they'll respond. You don't have to follow them up even and pressurize them.
No, my point exactly is that I need to know what is wrong with my song in order for me to fix it, because I'm trying to knock in.
Yeah, send it to me.
Okay, thanks, eh?
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Okay, thanks.
We are glad something positive is coming out of that interaction. Like we said, guys, ladies and gentlemen, let's follow each other. Let's follow Giraffe. He needs the following. And yeah, follow each other. And who else wanted to speak? Oh, Nema. Nema wanted to speak. So Nema, take it away.
Okay, I think this will be my last, I'll be before we close. So I'm going to just touch on a few things. The first thing I'm going to touch on is what's holding the artist back. Because when you spoke about group, I just remember what holding most of the artists back. Most of the artists, they're inheriting a lot of beef or unnecessary arguments and fights on social media. Then because you siding with certain group, you end up not able to branch into other fans. Because the moment you start, let's say you have your 20 friends that are always saying good about you, but when someone trying to correct you and tell you know what, if this song have been done like this, it could have been better. If you work with someone like this, it could have been better. Then you guys, because you work as a group, you don't allow anyone in your circle. It's all about our circle, my friends, my what. You always fighting with people. You trying to block everyone, but you want to be big. But you always, because your friends are always looking for beef, because you are a superstar to them, but they don't see anyone good enough for you. Until you get the depression and stress that why am I not moving forward? Forgetting that what you say on social media or what you do on WhatsApp group, not everybody is your good friend. They will share those information and they will still gonna complain and say there's gatekeepers, forgetting that you're getting blocked because of what you're doing with your crew. Secondly, I'm gonna jump into YouTube. everybody always focus on if the radio gonna play me, Metro gonna play me, which radio gonna play me. YouTube and has become one of our radio station. TikTok is one of the radio station. Like just mentioning those few. If you're gonna, let's look at these guys that like pirating music. It's also the problem. They like uploading your songs on YouTube. Instead of spending your energy fighting them to shut down and delete your song, spend time claiming all those songs. Claim ID. Use your claim ID to get all the money into your account. Which means if you have 100 channels that are making R1 a day out of your song, and now you claiming that money, that reality is every day, you have $100 coming your way every single day. So 100 channels, R1 a day, you make sure that all the money comes to you, which means even those channels that say, send your music to us, send it to them. Don't worry how many track channels have your music on their YouTube channel. The more people have access to your music, the more people will find you. And then those guys will make you money. Milk the money as deep as you can because they become your gold mine. And then going back, I think also the networking issue. We have a lot of people, a lot of artists that don't attend music conference. They don't want to go to other people's gigs unless they're booked. They don't even want to be in a space where they network with other artists. If you're going to cut yourself, let's say, I'm going to give example with my own boys. I think guys from Venda, they know about this. We have so much talent back home, but because those artists only want to work on their own circle. If it's Durban, I'm going to work with guys from Durban. And only a specific corner of guys I'm going to work with. And from Venda, I'm going to work with only guys from Venda. That's not how you're going to grow. The reason I was able to reach as far as working with the radios overseas was because I was on every single platform. I was on every single conference. I was knocking on every single door, spending time with everyone. Like China, people don't even know that I was mentored by Pesh, the passionate, the one that was here talking. One from Samba. Oh. He actually mentored me since I was doing grade 9 and he was doing grade 12, if I'm still correct, I remember correctly. He'd been doing music. He used to be called DJ Fresh back in the days because he was working on one of the community radio as a high school kid. We make sure that we learn from every single person that you can get. I had people saying DJ Cleo is arrogant. I managed to get into Cleo's hands and say, dude, this is what I want. This is what I want to learn. They opened doors because I was knocking in doors every day. So the only thing you gotta do, stop working with your friends around your circle. Approach guys. There's guys that have 1,000 followers. One has 2,000. One has 10,000. Speak to them. If you have, he says to future you is 500. It doesn't matter. If you have that money, pay and get the track done. If it works, that might be your blowing up track. You never know. So make sure that you send music to all these platforms. TikToks make money. They make money from all the social media. That's what I can say before we close up.
That's good.
Thank you.
Okay. I also have advice. This is from a layman perspective. I'm not in the music industry or anything of that sort. But one thing that I've noticed that new and upcoming artists actually do, new and upcoming artists do is what they call robust marketing. Where you find that somebody has posted their video or a link to their song on a rest in peace hashtag. That on its own creates a negative perception, Gawe. Already, when I start, whenever I see your name, I don't we end up muting you guys as well, because we always see you in the most awkward of hashtags, throwing in your stuff, and you make us not even want to listen to your music. We end up rejecting you before we even get to hear what it is that you have to offer. Do you understand? There's a way of actually marketing yourself. Like Unema said earlier, there's things that you guys say and that would make us want to gravitate towards you. And if you're a negative person on social media, there's no way you're going to get the support that you need. Okokuqala, as old as I am, I know for a fact I do not want to associate with somebody who's going to call himself savage, for starters, who's always attacking the big artists, no matter unnecessary. Do you get what I mean? We automatically just want to mute you. We don't want to hear anything. You would hear about, hey, Lorna, he's always on. He's on every post, and also the comments after that, where you hear people saying, "Oh, I actually ended up blocking him. I ended up muting him," and you do not want that, Ngawe. You want, when people remember you, let them remember you, Ngento, as a positive somehow. Don't always want to attack about Chima and whatnot because you want to be heard. If you're gonna, like, I don't know how to explain this, but how you actually put yourself across, that's exactly how you're gonna be received as well. Being negative has never brought any positivity towards anybody else. What you emit is exactly what you will be attracting. If you emit negativity, you will get negativity. It's as simple as that.
No, that's true. What I'm going to try to do, China, I'll send you, even though I joined in the middle, I'll try and put this whole thing together, and I'll DM me your email, then I'll send you this file tomorrow morning for this whole thing, that we like the whole space.
Okay.
Because I'll send it to you tomorrow morning.
Wait, you recorded the whole space?
Yeah, the moment I joined, when I was testing, remember I said I'm going to test the live and the recording. So I did both.
Oh, nice.
Well, I'd like to hear and listen over and over too. Then if wherever there's information, we can put it together and then make it available.
Yeah. And another thing, Chima, another thing, Chima, you saw how successful your space was, and I think this is an opportunity for you guys as well, for you to invite your friends in the industry, so that we have more people as well to actually share their experiences with the upcoming artists and producers and whatnot. And more than anything else, I'm hoping, Guti, next time when you actually host this, there'll be more ladies joining in, because we haven't. I was worried because we only had Utembisi Lejekpela who actually wanted to say anything. And we know there are a whole lot of ladies who want to be in the entertainment industry, whether it's backup vocalists or whatnot, who probably would have information that they would actually need from you guys. So I don't want them to actually say, I would rather have them ask questions, you understand, and not be shy to actually say,
yeah, they were just listening.
Yeah, but I would rather they participate so that we see what, you know, there are ladies. I mean, we know Sakumbula when Prince KB posted that competition that he did with the ladies singing and whatnot.
Yes.
That actually showed us that there was a lot of interest. There's a lot of interest to be in the entertainment industry, especially the music industry, that is, from the ladies. So I would also love to actually hear them or have them join us next time. So Chima man, please do us a favor and organize your friends, and let's have another one of these.
Okay, I'll organize. By the way, this was the first space I've ever hosted, and I was just testing how it works. So nothing planned. I just joined, and fortunately, it came to this. But there was a lot to learn. There's people from Samro who spoke, people who own radio stations, and we've learned a lot. I also learned a lot, you know. So I'll plan another one, and then I'll also make an announcement prior, so we can have as many people who are going to advise us as possible, and also especially the ladies. You are right. The ladies were in here. I saw them, but then they were scared to ask or something like that questions when they had the other bigger guys talking. So next time, I'll organize it properly and make sure that everyone else knows prior.
Thank you very much, Chima. And Nema, please kindly also send me the recording at the space.
Yeah, because I do have the recording, the one I was trying to play through Facebook and the other one on YouTube. but I wanted also to send the copy so that you can have the normal MP3 copy.
All right.
Sterling, I'm sorry, we can't accept anymore. We are closing the space. We had said we would close it at 1:30.
Okay, let me send you the one that is already our